Don't start, because then I won't be able to stop.
Oh.
No.
Looking back, I think we both would have said, well, of course we know the Lord. But it was all routine, and there wasn't a lot of joy there, and there certainly wasn't that personal relationship with Christ. I was raised in the Catholic Church. Jen was raised in the Christian Reformed Church.
I guess I was a bit of a religious elitist, thinking that, I just deserved more than everyone else did, given how I was raised and that I was baptized when I was an infant. All my prayers felt very rehearsed. When I would go to a prayer meeting or when I would have a moment with people at church, I couldn't speak to Jesus in that moment. I couldn't find that. There was no relationship there.
My identity was completely dependent upon the opinion of others. I was all about, what do you think of me? Sure, I read the Bible. Absolutely, I read the Bible. But I read the Bible verses that I was assigned. And I prayed the prayers that I was given in church. At the time, I lived very, very close to what is now Hope. And I saw this building come up out of where this ugly refinery stood before. And I just put it out there one day to Jen, just over a text. And I said, do you want to go and check out this church? And I'll never forget, the answer came back in all capitals. And it was, yes, absolutely. And so we went, and it was, one of the most uncomfortable moments that either of us had ever been through.
Everything went against the grain of what I thought was right.
I was raised Catholic. I could probably recite the Catholic Mass for you. I had been so many times. And so, to go and have, not only that kind of environment and that kind of joy, but to have that kind of message.
With truth gone in our lives, we're going to say, no. Not your plan, God, my plan. With truth gone in our lives, we'll start to see suffering and difficulty as God's punishment on us, or even worse, his abandonment of us. We'll fail to see that God is with us, and what's more, that he suffers with us and carries us in the storm. He is the Father who loves you. He says to you, even tonight, I'm with you. I'm for you. I know what it's like to suffer. I sent my son, he died. I felt the pain, but I call you to walk this path. It's for your good and for my glory.
And what I found, the more that we went, for me personally, is that this conviction had been building in me that I was not living an authentic Christian life. And I remember driving down to Nashville in April of 2015. And I was sitting in traffic in Kentucky with nothing to do. And I started flipping the radio dial, and I found this Focus on the Family program. I just had this realization, you could have knocked me over with the feather. I had never doubted the existence of God at any point in my life. I had not gotten angry at the Lord when bad things happened to me. I always knew that God gave his son to die on the cross for me, but now I understood. And I remember coming home, and I remember being at church on Easter Sunday, and everybody singing "Oh Happy Day," and Pastor Robbie made an altar call at the end of service, April 5th, 2015, and I stood up. That's when life changed.
So I was very prideful with all my head knowledge. I figured if I knew everything that I knew, that I should be going through the feelings that he's going through, and I wasn't. But it was clear to me to see what it was doing and how it was changing him. it made me really want to get to the bottom of it and why isn't this happening for me? I started to become more bold about asking questions, like what's up with this baptism thing? Why wasn't the baptism that I had good enough? And then I started to see a lot of the answers were just in my behavior. And I never had that kind of self-examination before. I was constantly looking at everyone else. I think I used to go to church glad that other people were in the service because they needed to hear the message. But I was going through a transformation where I was becoming happy that I was in church because I needed to hear that. Jesus is my helper. He is the one who just makes every day possible.
Jesus is the Son of God. You're talking about somebody who was born on this earth to die. And I mean, we all die. We're not born for that. To know that God loved us so much that he sent his son to die for us so that we could be reconciled to him. So that I don't have to live that way anymore. It's everything. It's everything.